pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of Bowling Green City Council. We are pleased that you're here with us this evening, so thank you for coming. Kay, would you please begin by calling the roll?
Osbacher.
Here.
Gordon.
Here.
Harold.
Here.
Jeffers.
Here.
Robinette.
Here.
Roland.
Here.
Zanfordino.
Here.
The minutes of the regularly scheduled meeting that was held on March 5th, 2018 were distributed to council prior to this meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The minutes are approved as presented. Kay, do we have correspondence this evening?
Yeah, the only thing I have is to note for the record that distributed to you prior to the meeting were the financial budget summary reports for the month of January and February of 2018. That's all.
Thank you, Kay. I believe that this time we have a special recognition to be conducted by Mayor Edwards.
We do indeed, Mr. President, members of council. I'm very, very pleased this evening to call forward for special recognition tonight firefighter Stephen Tida and his wife Dawn. And I'm going to ask them if they would please come forward along with Chief William Borman and Joe Fawcett, who's also. We're going to put you right over here on this side here. Maybe you can face a little bit. Sorry about the backs there.
Yes, we're trying to spread out to not be too much at your backs.
We're here to recognize Steve and Dawn Tida for their response to the events of February 17th. On February 17, 2018, at approximately 11 p.m., firefighter Stephen Tida and his wife Dawn Tida were exiting I-75 at Wooster Street when they came across someone standing on the edge of the overpass looking down on the traffic below. The man looked as if he was preparing to jump from the overpass, which prompted firefighter Tida and Mrs. Tida to turn their vehicle around. Upon approaching, Mrs. Tida asked the man if he was okay, to which the man responded, "Everything will be in 4 seconds." Mrs. Tida continued to talk to the man and offered to pray with him, giving firefighter Tida time to close the distance without being noticed. Firefighter Tida's years of service as a firefighter paramedic told him he needed to react quickly. Just then, the man turned and prepared to jump from the overpass. Firefighter Tida was able to tackle the man from the railing and hold him down until members of the Bowling Green Police Division could arrive. Steve and Dawn Tida's selfless and valorous act prevented the man from taking his own life and potentially saved the lives of many others traveling along I-75. Firefighter Stephen Tida will be awarded the Bowling Green Fire Division Distinguished Service Award for outstanding bravery of duty, off-duty, taking substantial personal risk to save the life of another. And if the mayor would present him with his award.
Him first there. Thank you. Thank you so very much for this extraordinary act of fearless and courage on your part. On behalf of the citizens of Bowling Green, it's my distinct honor, pleasure, and also on behalf of your fellow firefighters to present you with this special pin here. And I know that you will wear it with honor and distinction. And just be careful, it's sharp in the back, but the chief is probably got a back in here, so we don't want you to get punctured or damaged in any way over this, but I think it will hold in place there right now. Thank you. Congratulations. And thank you.
Stay up here a moment, please.
Mrs. Dawn Tida will be awarded the Mayor's Commendation for her significant and selfless act for the betterment of this community and in recognition of her valorous act. Mayor, if you want to present her with the commendation.
Dawn, thank you so much for all that you did on behalf of a fellow citizen, representing this community in an extraordinary fine fashion, and all that you did to save a life and to demonstrate courage on behalf of others. We really appreciate this very much. And it's my honor now to read this commendation for you, please. Whereas, on February 17, 2018, at approximately 11 p.m., Mrs. Dawn Tida distinguished herself from the average resident by assisting a fellow citizen in need, actively intervening to help someone attempting to take his own life. While traveling on Worcester Street, Mrs. Tida witnessed someone preparing to jump from the Worcester Street and I-75 overpass. Rather than continuing on her way, she decided to stop and help at great risk to herself. Mrs. Tida talked with him and offered to pray with him, buying valuable time until first responders could arrive on scene. Her actions directly contributed to the person's life being saved. Now therefore, I, Richard A. Edwards, Mayor of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio, in acknowledgement and recognition of Dawn Tida's significant and selfless act for the betterment of this community, do hereby thank and commend her for this valorous act and award her with sincere gratitude this commendation on behalf of all the citizens of Bowling Green, Ohio. Dawn, again, congratulations. Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Tite, if I could, on behalf of City Council, I'd also like to extend our sincere respect and admiration and appreciation for your efforts that evening.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. And now the chief will make sure that you don't stab yourself. Appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you very much. At this point, we move on our agenda, and we have a section for lobby visitations. Kay, is there anyone that has signed up to address City Council this evening?
Not this evening.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on to the introduction of new legislation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Jeffers.
from the Finance Committee, I have an ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2018 and ending December 31st, 2018. I have an ordinance authorizing the municipal administrator to advertise for bids and enter into a contract or contracts for the cleaning of uniforms for the Department of Safety.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mr. President,
Mr. Gordon.
from the Community Improvement Committee, I have a resolution adopting amendments to the Community Development Block Grant Citizen Participation Plan for the City of Bowling Green.
Thank you, Daniel. Official reports. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council. It's good to be with you all and all assembled this evening. I just have a couple of items to report on. And in presenting the Titas with this special accommodation and this special pin and so forth, I failed to acknowledge all of Steve's fellow firefighters that were here, but some were out in the hall and some came in, and I did have a chance to visit with each one of them before we had our little ceremony there and that. But as we like to say, something like this speaks volumes. When your the people are in the trench with you and working away day in and day out, and have worked with I know a number of them have worked with Steve for a good number of years. This takes on a special distinction in and of itself there. And so I was really pleased to see so many of them on hand here, along with the person who really keeps things in line. I don't know where the chief is here, but Abby Beckstein was out with her firefighters as well. But she really, I always kid each chief, we know who really runs the show over there. So, but Abby plays a very, very special role in the whole operation, as I know you know and appreciate. Just a couple of comments. First, we got through the weekend, St. Patrick's Day, Saturday in Bowling Green, in remarkably fine fashion. I think all things considered, Chief Hetrick has assured me, and I've had a chance to listen to him on the air this morning for a report there, that by and large, all things considered, things went rather smoothly. And I know you had the Bureau of Motor Vehicles special stop there with working in cooperation with the Highway Patrol and the BGSU police and so forth, and that got the attention of a few people as well. And we won't go into the number of arrests or others that maybe were related to it, but in any event, the weekend came off in pretty good fashion, all things, as I said, all things considered. I was especially pleased today that one of our fellow citizens who has a major role in the downtown area in one fashion or another, and certainly with the university, and that's Bob Maurer, did send me a letter, and I appreciated it so much. He said, this past weekend, many college students and others all celebrated the annual St. Patrick's Day event. The downtown area of Bowling Green, as well as numerous local residences, experienced heavy traffic and numerous celebrations. Our local police department were called upon to monitor many of those celebrations and situations. From what we observed, our police department responded quickly and professionally. We are indeed fortunate and blessed in our community to have an excellent, professional, and well-trained police department to not only protect our property, but also our citizens. We congratulate and thank them. And that was very thoughtful of Bob to send that letter. And it's deeply appreciated, I know, by Chief Hetrick and members of his division as well, in working in cooperation with the university, police, as well as the Highway Patrol and other law enforcement agencies and officers. Tonight you have on your agenda supplemental appropriation for the Worcester Green. This is simply one of these transactions. The money's in place, and thank you, Mary Hinkleman and Downtown Bowling Green Foundation, because they are the depository for all private donations. We haven't even started a fundraising campaign yet. That will officially start when we have a major dedication event on Friday, June 1 at 4 o'clock at the Worcester Green, when we dedicate the gazebo. If you looked over at the Worcester Green today, you will see that some signs of activity. And I'm particularly pleased with Council President Michael Osbacher playing a major role in this, working with the Pogomar Design Group and working with Brian Kraft and his entire team there. They don't want to wait till the last minute, and because we know the weather can be fickle sometimes in the spring, so they're taking advantage of relatively good weather and getting things underway there. But we appreciate all that's involved in that whole process, and the fact that we can, this is more than, I'd say, 55, almost 60% of the funds, without even having a fundraising campaign yet, public fundraising campaign, have already come in because of a number of very thoughtful citizens and that are eager to help in various ways, and including one gift from one family for the entire gazebo. So that's why we're able to start with that process first, and that will be moving forward here, and plenty of time for the June 1, Friday, June 1 at 4 o'clock dedication event, and the formal launching of a public fundraising effort. This Wednesday, I will be participating along with other elected officials, and maybe perhaps some of you are involved, and other folks in the community on the March for Meals. It's an annual event. It's going to be this Wednesday, March 21, working in cooperation with the Wood County Committee on Aging. And we'll be going out, making the rounds, and I look forward to doing this every year. It's always an interesting experience. And so I appreciate the opportunity in working with our neighbors over here at the Committee on Wood County Committee on Aging. This Wednesday at 1:30, we'll have a major, very important groundbreaking ceremony at the intersection of Fairview and Van Camp Roads, adjacent to the Betco company, the huge Betco group. They're doing so well at that new site where they were able to consolidate from 3 different operations, very aged operations up in Toledo, to come to this plant, and they're really humming. And now they're going to be joined by a group out of Wisconsin, and we'll be adding more jobs to our community. And that system, it's the Biosystems of Ohio, LLC, and that will take place this Wednesday, March 21 at 1:30. Heather Saylor and others that are so involved each and every year, they do such a wonderful job in working with the city's Human Relations Commission, not in our town, and planning the community interfaith breakfast. And Lori Young put together this beautiful, really, poster and so forth. But Heather would want me, and you can amplify this too when you have your time at the microphone, but we always get a huge crowd. We usually have around, last year I believe it was 250 or so. We meet at the Junior Fair building. And but the reservations are coming in a little bit more slowly this year for one reason or another. And part of it has to do, I think, with the break from university and the timing of things and so forth. But the Community Interfaith Breakfast will take place on April 3rd. It's from 7:15 to 9 o'clock a.m. And it's going to be at the Junior Fair building. And we have a deadline of March 26th to get your reservations in. And the reservations can be phoned in to the United Methodist Church. And that number is 419-353-0682. And it's something to look forward to. It has great meaning for our community, and we hope we can keep that the number of attendees right where they have been over the last, since our inaugural year. This is be the 3rd year in a row, is that right? 4th year. Wow, it's amazing. And but it's a very meaningful program, and I know that if it fits into your schedule, I hope you'll be able to participate and join in this very special occasion. So with that concludes my report, unless you have questions for me.
Are there questions for Mayor Edwards? Very good. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Municipal Administrator, Ms. Treader.
Good evening. You may have read about this in the paper, but if you haven't, or I also would like to formally announce that the city has hired its sustainability coordinator. This is a position that was funded for the first time in the 2018 budget. We talked a lot about it. We appreciated council's consideration of it and support of the position. The person who will be taking that job's name is Amanda Gamby. Amanda is a wonderful community asset. She's somebody that several of you may already know, but she holds a degree from BGSU in environmental policy. She's spent the last 12 years working as the environmental educator for the Wood County Solid Waste Management District. And her experience there has included things like updating, educating county citizens about the county's recycling programs, and most recently working on expanding the program from once-a-month collection to a 24/7 collection at permanent sites. She also has extensive experience with the EPA and, of course, all sorts of public presentations, educational opportunities. She's been very active in the Wood County community. She will bring with her years of experience in the sustainability field to help the city better educate our residents on refuse and recycling. exploring new ways to increase recycling, work with our department and division heads on sustainability, help coordinate our stormwater management program, and work with our city team and our residents on future opportunities relating to sustainability. And on a side note, Amanda is a very energetic and engaging person. We know that she will fit in well with our staff and that she can communicate effectively with our citizens on whatever current initiatives that she's working on, as well as adapt well to those that will be in the future. We're just very, very much looking forward to having her as part of our staff. Her first day with the city will be on April 2nd. That's all I have this evening, subject to your questions.
Other questions for Lori? Thank you.
Thanks.
Planning Director, Ms. Saylor. Questions for Heather? Thank you. Parks and Recreation Director, Ms. Otley.
Good evening. Don't have a whole lot. Just want to update you on a few things coming up. We have a fantastic contingent of looks like BGSU students here, so pay attention because one of these you might be really interested in. You'll figure it out. So just want to remind everyone that the 12th annual Brown Bag Music Series is still going. We had a fantastic presentation last Friday. We have 2 more in April, April 6 and April 20. So in case you've lost the information, I'll pass that back out to you. And that's a great partnership, once again, with the College of Musical Arts at BGSU. On Fridays, bring your lunch, 11:30. Entertainment starts at 12:15. And the next couple, I just handed them out, so the next couple coming up are April 6, String Serenades, and April 20, Opera Scenes featuring singers from the BGSU Opera Theater. This Friday, we have another in our Family Fun Nights out at the Community Center, Spring Olympic Family Fun Night, this Friday from 6:30 to 8:30. That is free for those that have a pass to the Community Center. If you don't, you can get in with just the daily admission or purchase a pass. So, but I'll hand those out. Pretty self-explanatory. We have some practicum students that are coming up with the events that are happening at these, and we have a couple more of those coming up before the end of the semester. And I do not have the information on those yet, but they'll have different themes. So this is the one that I was referring to. On Friday, April 6th, I know we have one council person who gets very excited and offers more cash rewards than are actually available. But we have the 15th annual Adult Egg Scramble. That's right. You guys are adults. If you're over 18, you're considered that, at least for our programming. But it is at night with flashlights, and the eggs contain valuable prizes or just candy. And it is unbelievably fun. So adults get the chance to come out and act like children. And I even put this flyer together that says neither rain nor snow nor sleet will stop us from scrambling. Last year, it was the most significant snowfall of the whole winter. So, and it was spring. But it was still a lot of fun. So please, please, please put that on your calendar. Anybody that has any sort of business that would like to donate prizes, lots of cool stuff, and it's all courtesy of our local businesses, so like to support them. But starts at 8:30-ish. We got to wait till it's really dark, but pass those out. That is a lot of fun. And if you don't want to participate, just come out and watch because it's a riot. So, and last but not least, Saturday, April 21st, we have our 2nd annual Kids Super Dash. That's the obstacle course behind the community center, sort of a superhero theme. And I'm very excited to announce a really cool partnership this year. We're partnering on this event with the Wood County Children's Services Foster Parent Recruitment, sort of a kind of a good niche for them with this kid's superhero. It's got a superhero theme, and there's a whole, after they go through the obstacle course, there's a whole cool party, and we honor local hometown heroes and things like that. So they're really looking at this as a great, great partnership to help them kind of do some marketing and reach out. Because if you read any kind of news lately, you do know that this area and any area is really in desperate need of foster parents, specifically due to the opioid epidemic. So great opportunity to kind of match up with common missions here, and a lot of fun. This one is just for kids, but adults can come out and participate, kind of go along with the child and make sure they do okay. I did that last year. It was a lot of fun. So And we have lots more going on, but those are just the highlights. That's all I had, unless you guys have any questions of me.
Questions for Kristen?
Kristen, a few minutes ago, Lori referenced our energetic and engaging staff. Do you feel she was mainly referring to you?
Not really sure how to answer that, so I'm going to plead the fifth. But thank you for the question.
Thank you. City Attorney, Mr. Marsh. Other questions for Mr. Marsh? Thank you.
Yeah, he's the energetic one.
Utilities Director, Mr. O'Connell. Other questions for Brian? Thank you. Public Works Director, Mr. Kraft. Other questions for Brian? Thank you. That concludes our official reports. Do we have any council committee reports this evening?
Mr. President,
Mr. Harold.
I want to report that the Public Lands and Buildings Committee of Council met last Monday and met again tonight to push the ball along. Oh, I'm sorry. Again, sorry, Bruce. To make progress on food trucks. We had a very, very good discussion last Monday that involved people that have different perspectives. Very informative, and not only was it informative, but it was refreshing in that we were able to have a very good dialogue. And then tonight's meeting, we had the advantage of learning a bit from Lori on some topics that come up, as well as, again, good interaction with those that were in attendance. We have another meeting next Monday at 4 that is planned to continue along. We're going to just keep moving forward with it, come up with something for you all.
Very good. Thanks, Bill. Additional council committee reports. Okay, reading of legislation, please.
Legislation for first reading. Resolution number 3699 for first reading. Resolution adopting amendments to the Community Development Block Grant Citizen Participation Plan for the City of Bowling Green. Ordinance number 8670 for first reading. Ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2018 and ending December 31, 2018.
Mr. President,
Mr. Jeffers.
I move that we suspend the rules and give ordinance 8670 its second and third reading.
Second?
It's moved and seconded. Kay, would you please call the roll?
Gordon,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Jeffers,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Osbacher.
Yes. The motion passes. The rules are suspended for ordinance 8670.
Ordinance number 8670 for second and third reading. Ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio during the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2018 and ending December 31, 2018.
Mr. President,
Mr. Jeffers.
I move that we adopt ordinance 8670.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Kay, would you please call the roll?
Harold,
Yes.
Jeffers,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Osbacher,
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
The motion passes. Ordinance 8670 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8671 for first reading. Ordinance authorizing the municipal administrator to advertise for bids and enter into a contract or contracts for the cleaning of uniforms for the Department of Safety. Legislation for second reading. Ordinance number 8669 for second reading. Ordinance amending and adopting Section 73.15B of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding speed limits. Legislation for third reading. Ordinance number 8667 for third reading. Ordinance authorizing the Utilities Director to purchase electric metering equipment from the City of Wyandotte, Michigan.
I move to adopt ordinance 8667. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Kay, would you please call the roll?
Jeffers,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Osbacher.
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
The motion passes. Ordinance 8667 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8668 for third reading, ordinance authorizing the Utilities Director to accept a utility easement from WMOG Investment Incorporated.
I move to adopt ordinance 8668.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Kay, would you please call the roll?
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Zanfordino,
Yes.
Osbacher.
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
Jeffers.
Yes.
The motion passes. Ordinance 8668 is adopted. That completes the items on our agenda this evening. Is there any other business to come before council? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.